Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Hey everybody, thanks for downloading the show. This episode is for people who listen regularly, so if it's your first time listening, check out one of the shows in the archives. First off, sorry there was no show last week. I really wanted to do one, but something crazy happened. I kept hearing loud bangs outside, usually during the daytime. I didn't think much about it because the 4th of July was last week, and I just assumed it was somebody lighting off firecrackers or something like that. It'd been going on for a couple of days and happened so much that I really stopped paying attention to it, but then a few bullets came through my wall where I record the show. I was scared to death. I look out my window and I see a bunch of killer bees buzzing around, shooting guns at each other. I called the police. They said that they get calls like this all the time about killer bees, but they can't do anything about them because gun laws only apply to humans. So I've been trying to deal with that lately, and that's why there's no show last week. Actually, I have had a lot going on since I had an episode out, and this is going to be another quick episode since I don't have a guest. I just wanted to come on and try to give you guys an update and let you know what's happening. I had a lot of bad luck trying to schedule guests. I had food poisoning really bad, and I started a new job. I started working for a nice lady taking care of her yard. I really enjoy doing that. It pays well, and it's something I like to do anyway, so that is really nice. Except for right now, I have poison ivy all up and down both of my arms, and not really happy about that, but it'll go away soon, and, it's my own fault, right? I only work part-time, but really surprised how much I've gotten behind on things. And I think most of that has to do with me being busy because of the Treepocalypse. Just in case you missed the episode where I was talking about it, this year I've started planting a ton of trees and bushes. I call it the Treepocalypse. It's something I've been planning for years, but finally got around to doing it. Since the last episode, I have planted 6 more trees, a blackberry bush, and potted my blueberries. Tomorrow, I'm going to repot a hibiscus. So as of right now, this year, I have bought 15 berry bushes, 2 lilac bushes, 8 fruit trees, and 16 shade trees with more to come in the fall. That's a lot of planting, and I had to cut down a ton of trees to make room for those. It's definitely affected the show a lot more than I expected, but the sooner I get this stuff planted, the sooner it'll start growing and making a difference, and I wanted to make sure I got to it right away. The most interesting thing that I bought recently is a blackberry bush that grows white blackberries. That's right. I've never heard of that until this year, and I'm looking forward to trying those. So about this time next year, I'll have crops of every color blackberry, mulberry, and raspberry that you can find. But I'm done planting things as of this week until fall starts. So the Treepocalypse isn't over yet, but I should be finishing up with that around this time next year or next fall. If you heard the last episode, I talked about how I quit playing the game Yahtzee on my phone, started playing a game that my wife got me into called Hole.io. We just call it Holio around here. It's a fun game where you start out as this small hole, and then you go around eating things to get bigger, and you compete with 6 to 12 other people to see who gets the most points in 2 minutes. It's very addicting, and the reason I brought it up is my wife started playing it before me. Her username is Deathclaw, so when I created my account, I made my username Original Deathclaw. And I thought it was hilarious. She was not amused and eventually changed her name. So I changed my name to Crangus McBasketball. And if you're a fan of Impractical Jokers, you will definitely get that. If you're not, check out that TV show. I've started playing Yahtzee again, though. Not as much as I used to, but so many people that I've played games with sent me messages in the past few weeks, either in emails on the app or through Facebook, that I just had to go back. It's more of a social thing than anything at this point. So who knows? Maybe that getting dicey segment that I was thinking about doing is still going to happen. I'm not sure if Big Brother was on when I put out the last episode or not, but I'm really into this season. It's had a lot of twists to it. This year they went with a summer camp theme. Really liking that too. Because I've been busy this year, I haven't kept up as much in depth with it as I had the last few years, but I think that's made me enjoy it more. Usually listen to podcasts about Big Brother. I unsubscribe when the show ends so I don't get a bunch of weird episodes after the season's over. This year, I haven't went back and subscribed to any of them. I think that's helped me enjoy the show more because most of the podcasts are just people recapping and complaining about the episode. And I just don't understand that. If you don't enjoy something, don't watch it. But if you watch it anyway, why would you make a podcast about it just to complain? That's a lot of wasted time on something, and it seems like you could find better things to do with your time, but a lot of people seem to do that nowadays. But I do wonder, since it's filmed in California, if the people in the Big Brother house felt the recent earthquakes there. Speaking of that, a lot of people in California listen to this show. I hope everything's okay with you. A listener, Lone Wolf GAM on Twitter, sent me a tweet of the podcast's official weatherman, Frankie McDonald, talking about how he predicted the earthquake. I wanted to have him on this episode to talk about it, but he'll be on next week. I've had a really bad string of luck when it comes to getting guests on the show the past couple of weeks. The last 2 weeks, I've been texting with UFC Hall of Famer Dan Severn about being on the podcast, but we just can't seem to sync up. He's been in Vegas working with the UFC, and every time that we think we're going to have a chance to record something with each other, plans change, and it's happened a few times now. I really thought I was going to have a extra episode out last week with him, and this week I thought he was going to be on too. That's just how it goes. The same has happened with a couple other people too. I'm hoping things will change before the podcast anniversary episode at the end of the month. Also, episode 250 is coming up too. If I take one more week off, the podcast anniversary episode would be 250. So I might end up doing that. I might not. I don't know. This is episode 248. So I may put one out next week, take a week off, then do the big anniversary show as episode 250. Hopefully things will be back to normal by then. It's hard to say. Every time I say something on the show, it always ends up not happening, whether I'm promoting a guest or I'm talking about trying to get things back on track. I've called it the curse of the show. If you're a longtime listener, you have heard about that for a while, and it's reared its head again. So that's what's been going on, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me. I promise that now that planting is over and things are kind of slowing up a little bit, at least till the fall, things should be back to normal. I just said I wasn't going to say that. Damn it. Things are going to be very crazy. I don't know if there'll ever be a show again. How about that? I'll use reverse psychology on the curse. But again, I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me. It really means a lot. And fingers crossed, I will be talking to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you next time.
I just said I wasn't going to say that.